I'm sitting over close.
Okay, guys. So, don't roar, all right? How many of you have ever played the game Apples to Apples?
There you go.
How many of you, better question, how many of you have never played Apples to Apples? Okay. Those of you, okay, guys.
Listen up.
Those of you who have not played, do you have like a general concept of what happens? Okay, then let me explain. And those are sort of. I turned it into like an educational experience here. Calm yourself. Okay, so guys, talked about this yesterday. Those of you who have played the game, kind of just listen to my definition and then pipe up and help out if you don't feel like I'm doing a good enough job of explaining it. But basically, when you play Apples to Apples, like you play in a group of people and there's two sets of cards. There's one card that goes to everyone and then like it's just like a table card, sort of. And it has like a topic or a person or something on it. And then everyone else is given like a handful of cards that are like descriptors. So you get points by coming up with the best thing that describes like the group word. So if it was, well, I don't want to use an example we're going to get to in class here, but I don't know, if it was
Great
like
Migration.
The Great Migration, okay. So somebody could have like an automobile, or somebody could have like cities, or something like that, and you would put down different cards based on what you have. Now, today we're going to play a little bit differently because I do not have cards for you because these are all historically based and things like that. So what we're going to do instead is I'm going to give you a topic word, okay? And then each group is going to work together to come up with something to define that word, okay? And it doesn't have to be an actual like full-blown definition. You can do, you can make references to it. So like, the example I thought of this morning was like if you're doing World War II and you can't think of anything specifically to like really describe World War II, but you just recently saw Flags of Our Fathers or something like that, you could say that, or Saving Private Ryan. You can make like a pop culture reference too, but you as a group have to be able to explain what it is that you are using to define the term, okay? And then Mr. Smith and John, if it comes down to like a tie or something like that, are going to decide which group came up with the best descriptor, and that group will get a point. Then at the end of class, whichever group has come up with the most points will get candy. But there's enough candy for everyone else too, so no picks. But now please do bear with me. I have never done this before. I kind of came up with it myself, and so if it doesn't work, I apologize. There will still be candy for everyone, but I do apologize. So kind of just work with me on this, okay? So we'll go ahead and we'll start with this. And the first word we're gonna do. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Okay. The first word we're going to do is we're going to start things off a little easy. We're going to talk about farmers. Now, just so that's your word, okay? So, see, all right, put it down. But you want to make it sort of creative because if everybody puts "they're doing bad," not everyone can get a point, okay?
Right.
So maybe think of a more exciting way to say that. Like, I don't know. So talk with your group members.
What is the term?
Farmers.
Farmers. Okay. Yeah. Don't use Mr. Smith's term. You got to use something else. Some reference to it.
Okay. Now, also, just so you know, all of the words, all of the phrases, words, or people's names who I give you are going to be people who you have heard about during this chapter, and more specifically, they're going to be people who are at least mentioned yesterday. Okay. So, give you a couple minutes to come up with.
So do they need a piece of paper or anything?
Yeah, that might be easier.
Here, I got cards.
Okay. On the fly this way.
All right. Okay. So put farmer on one side of it, right? And what are you going to put on the other side? Yeah, your almost definition.
Right, your explanation.
Your explanation. That's a good one.
You each have to do one?
No, one per group.
One per group.
I'm not ready. I don't have a
I'm sitting. I'm sitting. How was Father's
we're supposed to give our definition of farmer.
I would say, well, you know what? She doesn't want a definition. She wants a description that would lead people to say farmer. Okay? So, in relation to how
In
they were
relation
doing
to
in
the
the
Great
20s.
Depression, or the stuff that you've been talking about.
Yeah, in the 20s. Yeah, it's after World War I. You got it. So now you think. Because you know what happened in World War I and then what happened after World War I.
You guys have to. You need some more time.
The demand.
No, just one. Just one. That's
And you know what?
Alright, we give you a couple more minutes because it seems like some groups still need it. How are you guys in the back? Do you have good? Glad to hear.
No one needed it. I'm saying the thing you did. World War I, that's why I said well, you exactly.
Alright. Has every group come up with something? Should we go ahead and start?
I think so. I think.
Okay. Alright, also, because I was not thinking straight, I didn't give you each group a number. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? So let's start with
3.
Let's start with group 1. What was, sorry, it's just so I can assign points based on whatever. But group 1, what was your definition of farmer? Or, you know, relation?
Because prices were decreasing and loans were not being repaid.
Okay. Alright. Group 2?
Little food, little money, and electricity.
Say it one more time.
Little food, little money, and electricity.
And no electricity.
Yeah.
Okay. Group 3?
The demand for farm goods went down after World War I, which made it harder to pay debts back and prices.
Alright. Okay. Group 4? Never going bankrupt. Straight to the point. I like it. Okay. And group 5? Loans. Okay. Okay. Alright.
Do I get to decide who had the best one?
Decide.
I like group 2s.
What? Cheaters.
I did. It's because they threw in electricity. Nobody else bid that. It's like, let's add misery on misery and make a list of all the bad things that were happening to farmers. I like that one. All right. And John agrees with me, right, John? Yeah. John agrees with me, so we're unanimous in our decision.
Excellent.
All right.
That's good. Okay. So your next word. Your next word is going to be Herbert Hoover.
Herbert Hoover.
Herbert Hoover. Right? So, and just keep in mind what you know about him at this point.
Right.
Okay?
Oh, I like this one. This is a good one.
Do you
remember any of the stupid things? You know what a sheet we did on Herbert Hoover? I had those stupid little trivia. Huh? Well, we got those. Yeah, definitely. But you know what? I think everybody else is going to do it. I came to you first, so I think everybody else is probably going to bring that up. He had a couple of firsts. He had a couple of firsts.
First.
And then I played against him game on and I was like,
I know, it's terrible, isn't it? It is, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna look, okay, you know what? I quit. I'm not looking.
and I started talking to you.
Okay, has every group had time to write something down? Excellent, okay, so group one, what was your explanation of a review group?
The cardboard homes.
Okay,
Okay, good.
All right.
Cardboard homes.
cardboard homes. Group two?
Broken promises, most commonly blamed for everything bad.
Okay, say it again, a little louder.
Not most. Broken promises, most commonly blamed for everything bad.
Okay,
All right, group three?
He was blamed for the Great Depression.
okay.
Thanks, group 4. Thanks.
This is group 3, group 4.
No, group 3 is right here.
Oh, okay, group 3, I'm sorry.
He made a lot of promises he couldn't keep, and he was blamed for a lot of the Great Depression. He was the first president born across the Mississippi. He loved to fish, and Hoover Hills were everywhere.
I didn't know we were about that.
Put it all down. Very
All right.
descriptive.
All right, what do you have?
Hotels, failure, and the Great Depression.
Failure and Great Depression, I like that. What did you have?
Yeah, what did you guys
He was
say?
blamed for the Great Depression.
Blame for the Great Depression.
Number one.
I don't know, that's a tie between
All right, group three.
I'm going with 3 on that one. Now, if